All right, so hey everyone, thanks for joining us for the Team Fit and Natural call. Today is January 27th, and as I mentioned in the post about this, and as you may notice, we are now going to be doing separate team calls from Team Spark. So as much as Jen is my beloved success partner, we are doing things separately, publicly, and we'll just be working behind the scenes together. So it'll just be us from Wednesdays from here on out. So as you guys know, I was at the leadership conference last week, and that was really incredible. So tonight I'm going to try and do justice to Melanie Mitro's presentation on time management. But first, I just want to make a few announcements. The first thing is that we have a bonus challenge group starting on February 1st. So if you have a challenger, please make sure that you have responded to my post in the team group about that. And if you have someone who just really wants to jump in right away, you know, they can always start with Beachbody On Demand, which comes free for 30 days with their challenge pack. So if you do talk to someone who doesn't want to wait until our next challenge group, which starts February 15th in the next few days, please let me know ASAP and we can get them into the group. Also, a big thank you to those of you, which I think is most of you on the call right now, that are participating in the Level 1 Facebook training group. I'm really excited that we're doing this, and you know, it's just a 2-day workshop, but it seems like you guys are, you know, getting a good amount of information out of it. And after you all have been through the Level 1 training, I will absolutely be planning the next level training. Just so you know where this is all coming from, I personally am taking a paid Facebook training from this kind of social media guru who has worked with a lot of people that are elite and 5-star and up, and these coaches swear by what he's done for their business. So I'm trying to take the information that I have and break it into levels so as not to overwhelm people and give you kind of quick little nuggets of what I have without making all our team calls about Facebook. So there'll be more of this going forward. Also, Team Cup starts on February 1st. So thank you to those of you that have signed up already on a team. And if you are not on a team yet, please reach out to me after the call. Sign up goes until the 31st. So we can figure out a team for you, and you don't have to feel like you're on your own with this, because I will run a Facebook group for everybody involved with CUP, and I'll be giving tips, and the other leaders on our team will be sharing motivation and tips, so you're not going to feel alone, and it's just really a fun process, and we'll stick together throughout the month on that. And then the other thing is that as a reminder, for anybody who hits Success Club each month going forward, I will raffle off a prize at the end of the month. So for every Success Club point that you earn, you get one raffle ticket to win whatever the prize is each month. So I'm really excited to kind of make it a little bit more exciting, even though you already get prizes from Beachbody, but we'll have our own prizes too for Success Club earners. So I hope you're all hitting it. And I just want to give a shout out to those of you that have hit Success Club so far. I'm going to just take a quick look here at my list. This may not be up to date, but for those people that I believe hit Success Club so far, congrats to Laura Schiller, Lindsay Medvin, Christine Licata, and Maureen Buckley. And congrats to those of you that have Success Club points on the board. The month is not over, so you can still do this. That's Christy Chekovaj, Leanna Walker, Matt Guy, Katie Schomburg, Melinda, Katie Emanuel, Chrissy Broderick, Angela McLaughlin, Kara Weiner, Michelle Bazzano, Jackie Craig, Maureen's husband, John, which is really Maureen, again, Rachel Rohde, Melissa Lyons, and Eleanor Papp. So great job, guys. I hope you guys can pull off Success Club. There's still more time to do it. Okay, so before this call, I was kind of scrambling because I was on another Zoom call with Jeff Hill, who is the VP of Regional Sales, and it was a thing that was just open, or invitation only, for people who are 2-star and higher. And so for those of you, a couple of you I know are really pushing Diamond right now, I just want to say the world opens up so big when you hit 2-star diamonds, you know, so have that as like your next big launch goal, because there's just so much opportunity to interact with top people and corporate, and go to the conference I went to last week, which was awesome, and you get your second business center and all of that. So it's just a really exciting place. So just keep pushing. But something that Jeff talked about on the call that really resonated with me, that I just wanted to quickly share before I get into the Melanie Mitro presentation, is he said, you know, you may have heard this before, but I just want to share it with you again as leaders. Are you interested when it comes to this business, or are you committed? And I'll say that again. Are you interested, or are you committed? Because if you're just interested, that means that you do some coaching activity whenever it's convenient, with convenient being the key word. Or are you committed, which means that you get it done no matter what. You know, so for me, I'm committed. You know, I was on that Zoom call with my headphones in, rocking my kid to sleep at the same time. Kind of sad. I mean, I only do that for a special opportunity, but you know, you get it done if you're committed, and that's the kind of thing that leads to success. So I wanted to show you a quick video, which they showed us at the conference. It's only 1 minute long, so I'm going to go fast, but I just thought it was so powerful. You may have seen it before. It's the Rule Yourself campaign from Under Armour, and it shows 3 top athletes, and basically it shows you the power of what happens when you just repeat a simple activity over and over and over and over again, which is really all that coaching is for those of you that are newer coaches. Coaching is 3 vital behaviors, actually soon to be 4, which they will be announcing soon. And repeating that over and over is what brings success. So I'm going to share my screen and try and pull up this video and play it for you very quickly. Here we go. Share screen. YouTube. Big screen. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3.
So hold on, let me get back to my screen. I don't know about you, but that really gives me chills, and I've now seen it several times, and each time I have chills, because there's just something so powerful in what we can all accomplish if we choose to rule our day instead of letting it rule us. And you know, that's how I'm going to hook right now into Melanie's presentation, which is all about time management, because we can have all of the intention in the world to repeat those important behaviors that will bring us success and will allow us to help people and help ourselves. But if we don't manage our time and set aside the time to do it, then, you know, it's just a waste, because intention's not really just going to get us anywhere. So now I'm going to share my screen back to the presentation. Give me 1 second. Okay, share screen again. All right, and here we go. So I'm going to take you through Melanie's slides, and you'll have to forgive me for looking down at my notes, but I kind of want to do justice to her words in the best way I possibly can. So if you're not familiar with Melanie, if you're a newer coach, she was the top coach in the whole network of over 400,000 people. In 2014 and 2015, she's a Superstar Diamond 3 coach, which means that she has hit the highest level 15 Superstar Diamond in 3 business centers. So she's basically hit everything that she can possibly hit, and she is pretty incredible. But she said that one of the biggest questions that she gets from other coaches is, how does she make the most of her time? Because she has 2 little kids, and I have 2 little kids, and I feel like that's the question that I get the most too. If, you know, you're so busy, how do you squeeze things in? So she talked about that one of the things that she focused on as a new coach is what I said already. Will you let the day rule you, or will you rule the day? And she is going to talk about how you are the pilot of your day. You are the pilot of your own destiny. We have the 3 vital behaviors, but we also do a lot of other things as coaches that simply fill time. And we want to make sure that those things that just fill time don't take over all of our time. And another question that we're going to focus on throughout the presentation is, ask yourself with each task that you're doing when you're doing Beachbody, is this a business building activity? Is this an activity that is actually moving my business forward? So to fill you in on a little bit about who Melanie is, this here is a picture of her when she first came to Beachbody. So she started as a customer, she started as a challenger in a challenge group. She ultimately lost 30 pounds in her transformation, but at this point she had only lost 10 pounds. But her coach saw something in her and invited her to be a coach. At that point, she had 2 little boys. One of her sons was 2.5 years old, and her other was just 6 months old. So she's still getting constantly woken up in the night. They were living on 1 income. When she had her first baby, she quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom because that's what she really wanted to do, but they were barely making ends meet with 1 income. So money was very tight. So basically she was super stressed and super exhausted, which sounds exactly like where I was when I started coaching too. And she said, you know, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just how we choose to use it. And I'm going to say that again because I think that's an important point. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's just how you choose to use it. So what happened when she first started was that her kids would go down for a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's when she would go down to do her workout, which was insanity at the time. And she found herself saying to herself, you know what? Instead of working out, I really want to go upstairs and watch this Facebook training video about coaching. Or I haven't gotten a chance to invite anybody to the next challenge group today. I should be upstairs inviting now that I have some quiet time to myself. And so then she realized that she started wanting to skip her workouts. But then she had a moment, and this is another one of her nuggets, where she said to herself, but my body is my business. My body is my business. Being a product of the product is part of the job description. And if I don't do my workout, how am I going to prove to others that this works? Now, she reminded us, I was not at my goal weight. I was not a picture of health. I had no handle on my nutrition, and that's fine, but you still have to keep up the vital behavior of being a product of the product and working. So never give up your workout time to do Beachbody coaching. That should be something else that gets fit in. But she realized that she did need the time in the afternoon to do work. So what she decided to do was to start waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And she did this because she decided she wanted to succeed more than she wanted to fail. So she was willing to make that sacrifice. And just so you know, look, if you don't know me, I stay up till midnight every night. I'm a crazy night owl, but I am slowly pushing back my wake up time a little bit each day this week. I'm also coming off of being on Pacific time, from being in California last week. But I am pushing it back, and I am going to be following Melanie's plan, so you can join me and follow me next week because it's going to be 5 a.m. all the time. But her first professional development book was this book here, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and he says you're willing to do what other people are not willing to do now so that you can have what other people wish they could have 3 years from now, which is really, really powerful. So that is what really hit home with her. Now, moving on. What she did was every morning when it was super hard to get out of bed, she would repeat that to herself. So she would delay instant gratification to make her dreams happen, and that's what she told herself. And this is really where everything changed for her, where she kind of went from being the hobby coach to the super committed coach, the not just interested coach, but the committed coach. So she took a look at her day and she said, basically our day is a free-for-all right now. And, they, at that point, could stay in their pajamas all day, and that's just the way it was as a stay-at-home mom. But she found herself kind of having this tightness in her chest all the time, like, I'm always supposed to be doing something else. And, how am I going to make this happen? When am I going to answer messages? When am I going to check into groups? So she decided to set aside business hours. So what she did with her business hours is to have business activities planned and set for different parts of her day. Even though she didn't need business hours. I mean, she had all day that she was actually home in her house, but she set aside business activities for certain times. So prior to this, she would be, texting at the dinner table, answering a message while getting into the car, and it was just crazy. She felt like tied to her phone. So what she also decided to do was set phone and tech-free time into her schedule, which I think is amazing. Also, with this craziness of her just trying to do so many things at once, her husband actually started to resent her, and they were having marital issues because of this, because she was not ruling her day and not setting aside time in an organized way. So she learned to create buckets of time for each priority in her life. And so she asked us to basically choose 4 priorities that are in our lives that we would want to prioritize each day. And for her, it was number 1, kids, number 2, her husband, number 3, personal things that she just had to get done, self-care, and 4, Beachbody. So she needed buckets for each of those things to show up on her calendar all week long. So looking at the activities that you do, how many of them are mindless activities and how many of them are actually business activities? So when she first started, she set up this great plan, right? And she's like, yeah, 5 a.m. And she would get down, she'd work out first, then rush over to her computer, open up her computer, and she'd say to herself, okay, let me see what the top coaches are doing today. And she'd scroll through and look up their pages. Then she'd be like, what, I just don't feel like very inspired right now. So let me look up some kind of inspiring posts. And she'd do that. And then pretty soon she'd hear her kid waking up and she'd realize 20 minutes went by and she had not even done any inviting, right? Which is like the key thing that you need to do as a coach. So that was one big problem for her. And then the other thing was that she was hitting the snooze button over and over again. So what she did was, and this is also, by the way, advice in the professional development book called Miracle Morning, which I highly recommend. If you're not a morning person like I'm not a morning person, it's really incredible information. It actually shares scientific studies that show that people that choose to accomplish things in the morning and set aside time to take care of themselves in the morning with things like meditation or exercise or quiet time and some basic business building activities for whatever they're involved with, those people are healthier and more successful people. And so I'm listening to that on my Audible audiobook right now, and it's great. But she used some advice that's actually in that book, which is that she put her alarm clock on the other side of the room, so she had to physically get up and walk to it to get out of bed at 5 a.m. And also she had 2 mantras for herself that she would be repeating to herself as she was getting up, which is, I will delay instant gratification for success. I will delay instant gratification for success. And I will do what other people won't. I will do what other people won't. And she just kept repeating that to herself. And she just decided that she wanted to prove that she could do this, and she certainly did. So she decided to reduce distractions. And one thing that she really came, I guess, into her mind just over Christmas was that she had one of her newer coaches stay at her house over Christmas for some reason. And they were both working together, you know, doing their power hour together. And the girl sitting across the kitchen table from her was like, the phone was buzzing, and then the computer would beep, and then the phone would buzz and the computer would beep. And it was just, you know, all these things were going off. And she, you know, decided I have to teach my coaches to do exactly what I do too. So what she does when she is working is to turn off her chat box on Facebook. So I don't know if you guys have noticed how to do that, but if you're looking at the screen, on the right is the Facebook chat area, and then on the very bottom is a little button, and you can just silence it and you can turn it off. So during her power hour and personal business time, her messages are completely turned off. And the other thing that she does is that she uses an extension in Google Chrome called Kill Newsfeed. And it's amazing because you can still be within Facebook working, but your newsfeed is just gone. So the distraction is gone, and it's incredible. And I've been using it, and I love it. Do you want me to quickly show you how to do it? Yeah, okay. Let's see. All right, do you guys see this right here where it says extensions? Yes? Okay. So you just go to, you have to make sure that you're using Google Chrome, first of all, as your browser. So then when you're within Google Chrome, you just type in Google Chrome Store, and then you type in Kill Newsfeed, and it's free. So then you just download it. And it may show up here in this toolbar, but I think because I have so many things there already, it's not showing up there. But then if you go to this little thing of lines over here, and then more tools, and then extensions, it will open up this page. And so if I hit enable, if I check enable right here, and then pull up a new Facebook window, all of the timeline will be gone. So I can still message within Facebook and, you know, send out my invites, but I'm not looking at the news feed, and there's just no way for me to get distracted, which I think is really awesome. So anyway, that is how she decided to reduce her distractions. So the next thing she does is she does a weekly planning session every Sunday morning. So at the start of a new week, she first sits down with pen and paper, and she asks herself, what do I need to do this week? So do I still need Success Club points to hit Success Club? Do I need to recruit new coaches? Do I need to plan Facebook posts on my Facebook like page? Am I in charge of posting something in the challenge group this week? Do I need to figure out what that is? She writes down a whole list of everything that would need to be accomplished in the week, writes it down on paper. She does this on Sunday morning. And by the way, on Saturday and Sunday morning, she's still waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And she actually gets more time that day because she'll take those days as her workout rest days. So she's not working out on Saturday and Sunday, Monday through Friday. She gets up at 5. But then her husband will take the kids until 8 o'clock in the morning. And then the rest of her day and night is family time on Saturday and Sunday. But her husband getting up with the kids there is key because she gets more uninterrupted time in the morning. So she writes all of this down, and then she then plugs work hours into her Google Calendar. So she puts in all the hours she's going to work. Then she puts in her kids' activities into the calendar. Then she puts in personal appointments that she has. And then she schedules in date night. So in addition to having all of Saturday and Sunday off after those morning hours, she has one night that is set aside just for her and Matt, and that's it. And there's no phone out for any of these things. She sets alarms on her phone for the time when work has to start and stop. So every day for her, she has family time that's scheduled 4:45 to 8:45. So at 4:45 in the afternoon, an alarm goes off on her phone that says family time, and she literally stops what she is doing, shuts her computer, turns off her phone, and puts it in a drawer so she will not look at it. And that's it. And she said, you know, I do this, I schedule this family time to be totally tech-free to show my family that they are important to me and to show them that I value them and that nothing is more important than them. So she is 100% present with her family. But then when it's business time, that's what she considers go time, and she is working as fast and hard as possible. The other thing she does is at the start of the week, for anybody that's in your household, she does a quick planning session with her husband, Matt, and she basically says, okay, Matt, here's the deal. I know I usually don't have any calls on Tuesday night, but one of my coaches that works 9 to 7 can only talk to me at 8 o'clock p.m. So I have a call that night. But our date night is Thursday night, so that is the night that you and I can do whatever. So this is as opposed to what she did before, where he would come home exhausted from work all day and she would shove the kids at him and then run upstairs to the office to try and get work done. So she emphasized that communication is key, and it's important to talk to your families and to communicate what your goals are and actually what it's going to take to get there. So what your goals are and what it's going to take to get there. So next she talked about back to go time. So maybe, you're inspired by this call. I hope I'm doing some justice to the inspiration I got from Melanie seeing this live, but maybe you're inspired and maybe you go and sit down and you do your Google Calendar. Hold on, let me check the chat box. Okay. You're welcome, Maureen. And so then she says, maybe you're going to go and maybe you're going to sit down and you're going to do this in Google Calendar or in your little weekly planner or however you plan things. Maybe you write this time out. But the thing is, it's one thing to write it out and create the schedule, and it's another thing to actually implement it. So are you going to see this through? Are you going to create a schedule and actually stick to it? She said, and I love this, do not just be a collector of information. Do not just be a collector of information. And I think we all do that to a certain extent, right? I mean, you listen to the National Wake Up Call, you watch some inspiring video, you sit on a team call and you're like, yeah, I have all these ideas. But maybe they just stay in your notebook and maybe you don't actually do them. So she said on Monday morning, when you start this, think of her, think of Melanie, and picture where she's gotten and picture her getting up and crossing the room exhausted to do what she has to do. Because now when she sits down at her computer, she knows exactly what she needs to do. There's no more scrolling the news feed. I woke up at 5 a.m. so win for me, but actually I'm just going to scroll the news feed now. She knows exactly what she's going to do because the night before she has thought it through and planned out what she's going to do. And so she rewards herself. Actually, her reward is getting to scroll the news feed on Facebook. So she tells herself, if I get through my power hour faster than I anticipated, if I do it in 45 minutes instead of an hour, then I can use those 15 minutes to scroll the news feed. And I just love her because she's such just a nerd, and such just a regular mom, and I can so see myself doing something like that. So I think that's just great, having these little kind of carrots for yourself. But what she starts with first is always the 3 vital behaviors. So obviously the first vital behavior is to be a product of the product, and that's why she goes right downstairs and works out first. But the next thing that she does is inviting. And she gets that done. And then professional development, she's going to talk about in a minute, but she does that when she's getting dressed. So that happens too. But she first does her inviting, and then she checks into her challenge group. And then she answers messages, but she answers them in an order of priority. So it's not like she's just starting at the top of her Facebook Messenger and working her way down. She is starting first with new customers or new prospects, right, that have written her. The next level is new coaches who are going to need, more help faster. Then she moves to current customers, and then she moves to current coaches. So prioritized by new customers and prospects, new coaches, current customers, current coaches. And any messages from family and friends goes to the very bottom of the list. And then she literally types as fast as her fingers will go. And then after she completes Facebook Messenger, she moves to email. And then she does the same process of priority with email. And if a reply comes in from any of those messages while she is doing this, she does not answer it. It literally goes to the bottom of the list, and then she starts there again, you know, when she does this process the next time. So let's see here. So basically, she was, you know, just thinking to herself with every task that she did, is this moving the needle forward? Is this, what did I skip here? Is this moving the needle forward? Is this actually being a business building activity? And for professional development, she does all audio. She does it while she gets dressed, and she does it while she's driving. And then to move on to a book that I know Maureen is actually reading right now, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. That is another awesome professional development book, especially for newer coaches. It's a great, great book because it's about time management and it's super helpful. So I really recommend that book. But she talked about Eat That Frog. And basically the whole message of Eat That Frog is your frog is the one activity that's the thing that you hate to do the most. It's the task that you will procrastinate on until you're blue in the face because you just don't want to do it. And she said that for her, her frog is inviting people to the challenge group and inviting people to the business opportunity. And it's still her frog, even though she is where she is, because she said, you know, basically I'm like a squirrel in real life. I'm a totally introverted person, which I can identify as an introvert myself. And so inviting still is hard for her. And so because of it, it's the first thing that she makes herself do every morning without fail. After she finishes her workout, she opens her computer and she goes through her invites, and nothing else gets done until she has forced herself to do those things. And the thing is that she realized that she'd be putting off inviting for days and days, and then she'd finally do it, and she'd think to herself, why did I wait? This is the activity that I actually get the most out of doing, that I get the most result from out of all the things that I do for coaching. So why did I put this off? So her message is to eat your frog first thing in the morning and to invite before anything else. And again, with her little rewards for herself, she would tell herself, if I send out 10 invites this morning, then I can scroll Facebook for 10 extra minutes later, which is just so hilarious and great. And so the next thing is that when it's go time, when it's your work time, obviously your time is precious and you want it to feel like a race against the clock. If you don't feel immediacy in what you're doing, if you don't feel like you're literally racing against the clock and trying to do whatever activity you're doing as fast as possible, then you're wasting time and then you're not doing it as fast as possible. So you can even set alarms on your phone. Like, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to send out 5 invites right now. Set the alarm on your phone, do it. The alarm will go off, you move on. Be quick, follow deadlines. And she said she now knows exactly how long each activity will take for her. So, she knows XYZ will take me 45 minutes, etc., which is great. The next thing is that she follows the 80-20 rule. And for new coaches, this is not really going to so much apply, but once you actually start to have any coaches of your own, 80% of your time is for your personal business time and 20% of your time is for your team time. And I will tell you that this is a rule that I had a very hard time with last year, because when your team starts to grow quickly, you just want to pour everything you have into your team, but then you're like, oh yeah, I actually have to invite people myself. Actually, I have to do my own business. Actually, I still have to hit Success Club this month. And so if you have your own coaches, make sure that only 20% of your time is going to your team and 80% of it is still on your personal business. And I also heard 2 other top coaches say they follow the same rule at the conference, so it's definitely a good one. So she sets aside Monday and Wednesday morning as just her personal business time, where she's not doing anything with her team or with her coaches. She is literally, with the thousands and thousands and thousands of coaches in her downline, she puts on the blinders, ignores that, and she's literally just inviting, following up, and creating content. She has a blog too, so she creates content for her blog, but she creates videos also. She creates posts for Facebook that she's going to use. So that's what she means by creating content. So that's inviting, following up, creating content. And she feels like she has to be in the trenches to set an example for her team. She also uses Acuity Scheduler, which I also have, which is in the post pin to the top of the team page. So if you ever want advice or help, which I'm more than happy to do, you just set up a little 15-minute Zoom call using the Acuity Scheduler, and her coaches do the same. And she basically said, you know, you have to control the things that you can control. And the only way you can control the things you can control is by doing those basic tasks. You know, you can't be like, oh, you know, I'm 1 emerald away from diamond, or I only need 1 more active coach and I'm going to be emerald. It's going to be so awesome. And so I can just kind of relax a little bit this month. She doesn't stop. She just keeps doing the basic activities nonstop, no matter how close she is to a goal or anything. And then she also teaches her coaches to do the same. So for a call to action, she said to us, make sure that you create your master list of all the things you want to do on Sunday, but then for each day, don't overwhelm yourself. Pick 3 things from your master list to do each day. So yeah, you do the 3 vital behaviors, right? You're going to invite, you're going to work out, you're going to do your professional development. But beyond that, if there's other things that you want to accomplish, then you just pick only 3 things for each day. And she literally uses sticky notes on her calendar for those 3 things. And she also said you want to make sure that the people you love know that they're a priority, because the reason that she does coaching is to achieve freedom, basically, you know, freedom from time and, you know, money constraints in any way. Her husband is retired and a stay-at-home dad, and she's only going to do this for so long, and then they're going to sit back and it's going to be awesome with just a passive income coming in. And she said, you know, this is what your family is what you're earning freedom for, so don't forget that. And also to always focus on the end result. You know, no matter how tough things are, you want to focus on the end result, because that's where you're heading. Always think of what your goal is and what your actions are bringing you to. So I just talked so much and so fast, but I hope that you got something out of that. Does anyone have any questions before I let you guys go? You can either type in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself or raise your hand if you've got something to say. No questions? Good. Katie, what did you just say? Will you post this to the team page too? Yes, I will. All good? All right. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you have a great night. And for those of you that are in the Facebook training group, I've been watching your comments come in, and a lot of them are pretty similar with your concerns and questions about how do I actually set up a like page. So what I'm going to do when I hang up here is post one long post kind of responding to you all at once. And I will also share resources for how to easily create your like page, which I think will kind of sum up what's been going on today. So Joe, it wasn't that I was ignoring you. I'm just prioritizing. All right. So guys, have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. I'll post the recording in the team group for your coaches. Bye.